Good morning, Year 2. It's Tuesday today and we are comparing number sentences. Now, I've just opened my flip chart and I've forgotten to do a brain warm-up. Silly Miss French, but I promise there'll be one back tomorrow. So let's get straight into our comparing number sentences today, okay? Dora and Amir have been looking in the garden and they've had a bit of a bug hunt and they've decided to record how many insects they see. So Dora sees a ladybird and a bumblebee, and Amir sees 3 bumblebees and a ladybird. And then what they do when they get back inside is they get their maths book and they have drawn their insects. Now Dora has drawn hers a lot bigger, but that doesn't matter because we're just looking at the amount. So Dora has seen 2 insects and Amir has seen 4. So Amir has seen more insects than Dora. Okay, Amir has seen more insects than Dora. 2 farmers are having a discussion about their sheep and who has the most sheep. This farmer thinks he's got the most sheep, but this farmer thinks he's got the most sheep. What do you think? Who has the most sheep? To help me, I put them into rows and then created a bar model to show. So here is the bar model for the top farmer and here is the bar model for the bottom farmer. And actually, they have the same amount of sheep, but just different ways of making that number. So they have got equal amount of sheep. This is a bit tricky. I liked this challenge, so I thought you could all have a go. In my top bar, I've got 2 red counters and 2 yellow counters. And then in my bottom bar, I've got 2 orange counters and 3 blue counters. And I need to write a sum that involves this sign here. Who can remember what this sign is called? It is the less than sign. Well done. So, what sum creates this bar? Let's have a look. I've got 2 red counters and I've got 2 yellow counters. So it must be 2 add 2 because that gives me my total. What about my bottom bar? I've got 2 orange counters and 3 blue counters. Does that mean my sum is correct? Let's work it out. 2 add 2 equals 4. So the answer to that part is 4, and I'm just going to highlight that so we can see it. Oh, okay, so there's the 4 for this part. 2 add 3 is 5. So I'm just going to pop a 5 under here and let's highlight that too so we know the part we're talking about. And this is saying that 4 is less than 5. It's a really bad symbol, Miss French. 4 is less than 5. That is correct. It doesn't matter that it is the sums that I am comparing, not the numbers, because actually it's the same thing. I've got 3 sets of pictures here. We're going to write them out as sums, okay? So for the fish, I've got 1 add 2, and then I've got 2 add 2. I can see from my picture that 2 add 2 is the bigger number. We'll have the bigger answer. So I will draw my crocodile really badly again. It's really not very good, is it? Because I know that 1 add 2 is 3, and 2 add 2 is 4, and 4 is bigger than 3. Okay, let's look at the birds. So I've got 3 yellow birds, and I've got 3 red birds, and I know that that is 6 because I know my doubles. And when you add two of the same number, you are just doubling it. And then I've got 3 green birds and 1, 2, 3, 4 blue birds. And I know that that must be bigger because 4 is a bigger number than 3. So it's 6 and 7. So 7 is the bigger number. So I'm going to draw my crocodile eating that sum. And then finally we've got the birds on the trees, on the branches. So let's have a look at this tree. I've got 5, add 5. And again, that's a double. And we should all know that double 5 is 10. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add 3. 5 add 5 is 10. And 5 add 3 is 8. My crocodile definitely needs to eat 10. It's very hungry. And that's how you compare number sentences. Here are 2 children playing football. Okay, so what have we got? We've got 1 goal scored and 3 goals scored. Who scored the most goals? Let's put the numbers in the middle so we can compare them. The girl scored the most goals. Okay, well done. Now we need to fill in with a greater than, a less than, or an equal sign. So I would work out the sums first. So 10 take away 5 is 5. And 10 take away 10 is 0. So the symbol is going to eat that one. We know that 10 take away 5 is 5, so I don't need to write that one in. And 20 take away 5, this is where your 5 times table will help you, is 15. So is 5 or 15 the bigger number? It's 15, so my crocodile is going to eat that number. 9 take away 5 is 4. And 19 take away 5 is 14. So the crocodile is going to eat 14. Okay, I've got some pop, some cans of pop. And I've got 6 add 6, because you can see here I've lined them up almost a bit like an array. And I know that double 6 is 12. And here I've got 4 add 4 add 4. I know that double 4 is 8. And then I can just add another 4. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They are equal. So we can pop an equal sign in here, just like that. Just like that. Does that mean this is equal to then? 4 add 4 add 4, which we know is 12, is the same as double 6. It does. It's just balanced it. There we go. So we need to work out this little challenge. Now this is very tricky, so I'm going to give you a bit of a clue. Work out the middle sums first. And now I want you to pause the video and have a go for me, okay? So hopefully you've had a go. So 10 add 4 is 14. So we need to know, what do we add to 7 to make 14? It's 7. Well done. And what do we add to 5 to make 14? So I'm going to put 5 in my head and count on to 14. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's 9. Well done. 20 take away 15. Now there are lots of different ways you can do this. The way Miss French does it really quickly in her head is she does 20 take away 10, which is 10, and then takes away the 5, which is 5. So what take away 5 equals 5? That's got to be a 0. And 7 take away what equals 5? So put 7 in your head and count backwards to 5. So you've got 7, 6, 5. It's a 2. Well done. Okay. Bronze, you've got some part whole models to complete. So you've got your whole number and you just need to find the missing part. You then need to choose the correct calculation to complete the statements. So you've got them to choose from at the bottom and you need to fill them in here. I would write them out if I were you and maybe work them out too. And then you need to tick the statements that are true and correct the ones that are false. So you need to become a teacher, okay? Silver, you are doing questions 1 to 4 on the silver and gold sheet. So you have got to see who's got more sweets, colour in the bar models to represent the sum, and write an additional calculation that gives the same answer. You've got to draw some counters in your 10 frames to show the different sums, and then you've got to use your greater than, less than, and equal sign to make the statements correct. And gold, again, just like yesterday, Miss French hasn't been paying attention, has she? You are doing questions 5 to 8 on the silver and gold sheet. So you've got to cross out counters to show 9 take away 3 and 9 take away 4, and then use the correct greater than, less than, or equal sign. You've also got to choose the greater than, less than, or equal sign to make these correct, complete the additions, and have a look at some part whole models. And then platinum, again, some tricky questions. I like to keep you challenged. You need to use the digit cards to find out all the possible combinations that can make the statements correct. You need to tell me if the children are correct and convince me. So it's not just yes or no, they are correct or not correct. You need to convince me why you think that. And then these cards have been placed in the wrong order. You need to rearrange them to make them correct. I will be back tomorrow with Wednesday's maths lesson.